Hey folks, thanks for stopping by. Today we're doing a fun little project, another in my series of why you should never throw away any scrap of wood no matter how small. This time I'm making a toothpick holder slash needle case. You roll up some mad money to keep on you. So I'm making another one out of Bradford pear. Stick around, we'll get started. So one of the problems I always face when dealing with really small pieces is work holding. Obviously, you can turn anything between centers as long as it'll fit on the bed of your lathe, but when you get things smaller than say 2 inches, unless you have a really small chuck, you don't have a lot of options. What I've come up with is, and I really like, are collet chucks. And I've got a couple of different inserts for this collet chuck. This is happens to be the Buell one, but any of them should work. Holds it quite well, but it doesn't mar the surface like pen jaws would, or the step jaws in a larger chuck. So it seems to work well. What I end up doing, like if I'm for turning this piece, I'll turn the ends down to whatever the nominal chuck size is. This happens to be 3/4 of an inch. So I'll take my calipers and turn this down to 3/4 of an inch so that I can then mount it in the chuck jaws, or in the collet chuck, for both the lid and the body. So let me turn that down and we will get it mounted in the collet chuck. Alright, given those tenons, I'll probably split it about here as far as this being the cap and this being the body, so that that gives me a little bit of room. I'm going to go ahead and get a smaller parting tool to make the most out of this wood. Alright, let me get the collet chuck set up and I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so with the lid blank mounted into the collet chuck, and the collet chuck tied on the spindle, let me go ahead and drill it out. I've already marked on the drill bit how deep I need to go into the lid. I'm turning the speed way down. So now what I'm going to do is cut a relief to the edge of this for the cap to go over the body. So I'll probably split the thickness of that in half. Easiest tool I've found to do something like this is either a skew in negative rake, so just flat on its side, or a carbide cutter. I think I'll go ahead and use a carbide cutter today. So what I'm left with is a little step in there. I need to make sure that those walls, that wall is straight, so you want the lid to have the same fit all the way down. It should be good. Let me mount the body blank in the collet chuck, and I'll hollow it as well. That's the other nice thing. It seems to stay centered. If you get that shoulder nice and square, it'll stay centered as you tighten it up. You're not messing with it like you are with pin jaws. So the depth on this one is the whole bit. It's easy. On the body of the case, instead of cutting from the inside, I'll cut the outside to match. So let me get my set of calipers and I'll measure the cap. In order to make this fit, center a little bit less and sneak up on it. Alright, good enough. What I'm going to do is bring up the tailstock with a point and then kind of blend these two together. Okay, let me mount a little waste block in the collet chuck, and I will turn the top and the bottom slightly around. It's just a little loose. Let me see if it'll fit with a piece of paper towel. There we go. Dismount the body of the box. Take just a little bit of sandpaper to that. And we'll get it. Well, oh, see, I need to take that center nub down just a little bit more. Just a bit of 220. And a bit of 320. And there you have it. One toothpick holder, needle case, pill bottle. Oh, one thing, I don't worry about putting a finish on this because it is a utility item. It's going to be in your pocket or in a bag, getting knocked around, rubbed up against your keys. Any finish you put on it's likely to get scratched up. Doesn't mean you can't put a finish on it, but I typically don't bother. So that's it. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe, comment, tell me what you think, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for sticking around. Take care.